Hello, this is not. I want to go over my video game dev history. I have here a couple of Godot projects that I've worked on. I have more projects in Unity, even on Scratch, but those projects are lost to time. There's one project I'm especially proud of. It was like the first game I've ever worked on. I was really passionate on it. It was terrible, but it's the most fun I've ever had. This is what made me realize that I like programming and I like video game development. Now you notice that these Godot projects, their timestamps are very recent. That's because they're duplicates of older projects on older versions of Godot. And I've duplicated them to the newer version of Godot and left the old versions behind in the old versions of Godot just for safety. I wouldn't want these to be broken on newer versions of Godot. I want to preserve them. So I'll just click on this first one called Snowman. This is a game I wanted to make before Christmas, but I dropped it because of exams. It was going to be a game where you push snowballs and create snowmen. I was messing with terrain and ended up with this gigantic map that is impossible for you to walk across. It's massive. I can keep walking in the distance like this, and it looks like I'm going nowhere. Of course, I was also working on a first-person character. First-person camera. Look around and you can see your capsule body. You can see that there's some head bob when you're walking. But yeah, there's not really much here. You can see the tutorial project right below that, which has the first-person camera I used for the Snowman project. I was following a YouTube video. There's not much going on in this one either. Except this one, you can actually walk to the edge of the map in a feasible amount of time and fall off. So you can see again, there's head bob. You can also see there's an FOV change when you start moving. There's a sprint. And there's some mild post-processing effects going on. Oh, there's a jump too. This next one was an ambitious one where I wanted to make a survival game, even though I didn't even know how to create a third-person character controller. This character is also based on a state machine, so they have an idle state, a move state, a sprint state, jump state, falling state. They also have an animation for slowing down, which looks awkward. And the collisions are annoying. No semblance of a survival game here. Another ambitious project. I wanted to make a 2D action game. This is again based on a state machine. And this roll is not a dodge roll, it's the attack. But it does no damage. There's no hitboxes. No health either. There's not much going on here. This project was a tutorial on the Godot website. But I don't really want to show this one. This one sucks. I don't like it. This is based on another tutorial. Brackeys. Godot beginner tutorial. I was not a beginner of Godot when I did this tutorial. I just wanted to do it, see if I was missing anything. All the assets, of course, are not mine. But the level design is by me. Which is why it's not very good. Here's the edge. Over here too. This is a game where I wanted to make an alchemy system. You have various ingredients. You can move the ingredients around. They have pseudo physics. You can drop them in the pot. I won't explain the system because I barely remember the system myself. I also don't think it's working. So these last three are projects that I actually am more proud of. First of them is a puzzle platformer game where you're able to change gravity. That was wrong. The music is made by me. That was not very good. That's the job though. It also has controller support. When you die, there's a particle effect. You can use gravity to just fly around the map. At some point you'll get to levels where the conditions will be different. In this level I can't change gravity. I have to use these instead. This level you can't move at all. You can only use gravity to move yourself. In this level you just let the gravity fields take you to the end. And that's the end. This next game is not a game, though I'd like to change it into a game later on. It's a music visualizer. Hopefully this music isn't copyrighted. You can change the lighting. Mute the music to avoid copyright strikes. Change the appearance of the cube. Shuffle the music. And if I didn't have music in the folder, then I would pull up a prompt. I would show you the playlist functionality of actually putting songs into the folder, but I realized that showing my Windows, the File Explorer, would be doxing myself somehow, so I'm not doing that. The last thing I have to show you is inspired by that same game I was making on Scratch years ago. And there's nothing after that. The prototype for now, but I want to develop into something bigger. Kids can tell it's a point-and-click adventure game. It's going to use pre-rendered graphics to give an old-school vibe to it. I also want it to be sort of a choose-your-own-adventure game with some mild RPG mechanics. I hope to have more games to show on this channel. Not really hope to, I will have more games to show on this channel. Especially this choose your own adventure game. But I feel like a choose your own adventure game might be out of scope for me now. I'm probably going to finish up a demo of this and then work on some 2D pixelated games for my next few projects. But yeah, that's about it.